Hello, and welcome back to the Misty Morrison podcast. I'm your host, Misty Morrison, and this is episode 25? Yes, this is episode 25 of Was I in the Wrong? A little housekeeping before we get into today's stories. Just a reminder to please engage with the content to help the channel grow. If you are listening on podcast, please leave a 5-star review and share it with a friend. If you are watching on YouTube, like, comment with your thoughts on the stories, share it with a friend, subscribe for more. And if you are checking us out on socials, comment on the post with your thoughts on the stories. All right, we will get right on over to our stories for today. Story number 1 is coming to us from r/Am I the Asshole? AITA for taking unnecessary money out of my daughter's pocket. I'm unfamiliar with unnecessary money. It all seems quite necessary in today's economy. But this one has been judged by Reddit, and people have judged this person not the asshole. So let's see. Basically, I have a daughter, Emily, 16 female, from a previous marriage. My wife, Sasha, has a son the same age, Mark, 16 male. Mark doesn't stay with us that often. He prefers to stay with his bio dad. That being said, when he's here, I find Mark to be a pretty good kid, polite and respectful. His dad decided to take a trip for work in the last few weeks of school, so Mark's here for a bit. He's out of the house most of the time and doesn't take up much space. He does get kind of grumpy when there's too much going on around him, especially noise, but for that his favorite thing are these expensive noise-canceling headphones, which he almost always has with him, a present from his dad. Emily's school has already finished, so she's home. The problem is that the room Mark is in sometimes has miscellaneous items put in it when he's not there, and therefore Emily seems to think it's fair game to go through his stuff. I've told her to stop, but Sasha hasn't been taking it seriously in my opinion. She's saying that most of Mark's stuff is easy to replace. The big problem happened when Mark accidentally left his headphones in his room, and Emily accidentally snapped them. I saw this coming. Mark found out when he came home from school and flipped. He shouted at her, saying she was spoiled without anything to back it up, loud enough that my wife and I heard it from the other room. Sasha wanted me to calm things down, which I did, but I also told Emily she's replacing them. Thing is, Mark's dad offered to have someone get him a new pair immediately, and that it wasn't a problem. I said Emily would pay him back, and I'm sticking with it. Emily and Sasha think that's unfair since Mark's dad can afford to buy 10 more. But I don't think you get to break someone's stuff and not pay for it. Those aren't the values I was raised with or what I want for my daughter. That being said, I do realize in this case, it's kind of unnecessary and there may be better ways for her to make it up to him. Am I the asshole? I 100% agree with Reddit. OP is not the asshole. He is right. I don't really think that there's a better way for her to make it up to him, because the main problem here is, besides your wife not taking any of it seriously, that's a whole thing on its own. But the main problem here with Emily is that she did not value his belongings. She did not see the value. She thought they're all easy to replace. It doesn't matter. It's going to matter now when she has money taken away from her that she likely wanted to spend on other things, that now she has to replace his property because she couldn't be respectful of it. I think that's 1,000% the right thing to do. I would punish her beyond that. Like, it doesn't seem like you and your wife are on the same page about parenting styles. So I don't know if you really get... I don't know who really handles, like, the discipline and everything here. If it's you, I would ground her, like, take away something for longer until she earns it back by showing respect for other people's property, because I don't necessarily believe that just making her pay for the headphones is enough to teach her this lesson, since she hasn't learned it yet at 16. Yeah, you're not being unfair. Like, you told her to stop before she ever damaged property. She continued. Your wife didn't have your back. Emily continued, and she ended up breaking something. It is minimally fair that she has to pay for what she broke. It's basic. It makes no difference to me that Mark's dad can afford to buy 10 more. It shouldn't have to be Mark's problem, especially when he's gone on a work trip. It shouldn't have to be his problem to replace something that shouldn't have been broken in the first place. Because Mark valued these and he was going to treat them with respect, and he was never going to be the one that broke them. Yeah, you are right. And yeah, your daughter, or your stepdaughter, no, your daughter, yeah. Your daughter is entitled. Story number 2 is coming to us from r/am I overreacting? AIO for refusing to cook for my fiance after he told his family I don't bring anything to the table. I, 26 female, live with my fiance, 28 male, and we've been engaged for about 5 months. I work remotely as a copy editor and also take care of most things around the house, cooking, cleaning, managing bills, etc. He works a 9 to 5 and says he pays most of the rent, even though it's a 60-40 split. Last weekend, we went to a family dinner at his mom's house. His brother made a joke about wifey duties, and my fiance said something like, well, she's not there yet, still working on bringing something to the table. Ooh. His dad laughed and his mom gave me that pity smile. Like, you'll get there. I was stunned. I didn't say anything, but I stewed the whole ride home. That night, I didn't cook dinner. The next day, I didn't make breakfast or lunch like I usually do. He noticed and asked what was wrong, and I told him I didn't feel like contributing to a table I apparently don't bring anything to. He got defensive, said it was just a joke. It's always just a joke when it comes back to bite you. And accused me of punishing him. He even said I was being manipulative. But I haven't been able to get over how casually he said that in front of people who already don't seem to think highly of me. Am I overreacting for going radio silent on the cooking and cleaning until he apologizes? No. No, you are not overreacting. I'm glad you didn't act out at the family dinner. I'm glad, you thought about it and you basically made your decision on how to proceed. He said you didn't bring anything to the table, so you literally stopped bringing the food to the table. It makes perfect sense. You're not being manipulative. You're punishing him. You are trying to teach him a lesson that it wasn't just a joke. You took it seriously. Just like actions, words have consequences. And this is it for him. If he doesn't like it and all you're asking for is an apology, just say you're sorry for saying something stupid that hurt me, is not asking that much. So if his pride is bigger than his stomach, I guess he won't apologize. But, if this is the hill that you're willing to die on, I think that's fine, because that was a cruel thing for him to say. And the fact that his whole family went along with it says a lot about that dynamic and leads me to believe that you will always be on the outside of that family. Something to think about. All right, story number 3 is coming to us from r/AITA_relationships. AITA for not moving back in after my fiance let his daughter tell me to leave. I'm 50 female. He's 52 male. We've been together 4 years, engaged for 1. I moved into his house about a year ago. A few months ago, his 24-year-old daughter moved back in after a breakup. She's never really warmed up to me, but I tried to be kind and respectful. Lately, she's been openly rude, making snide comments, pushing boundaries, moving my things around. I kept it to myself until she told me flat out that I don't belong in this house. We had a tense exchange, nothing wild, just me calmly asking her not to talk to me like that, and she told me I should leave. The part that hurt, my fiancé stood there and said nothing. Later, he told me, maybe it's best if you stay with a friend for a bit until things calm down. Throw the whole family away. Just throw them away. So I left. It's been almost 3 weeks. No apology from her. He keeps asking when I'm coming back home and says I'm making it into a bigger deal than it is. No, you're not. But to me, this is a big deal, rightly so. He let his daughter kick me out of a home we were building together. He says I'm being cold. I feel like he made his choice. AITA? No. You are not the asshole. You are right. Oh, this is horrible because, like, you guys were together for 4 years and you were already engaged. And I could see you wanting to help your kid. You know, you let her move back in for a little bit, but she's 24. She's a grown up. And you let her, not only did you let her treat your fiance that way, the woman that you planned to spend the rest of your life with, you let your daughter treat her so disrespectfully, and then you doubled down, you joined in with her, and you told your fiance to leave. He told you to leave, so you did, and now you're the bad guy. No. This is so messed up. Honestly, I know it sucks, it hurts, but I'm glad he showed his true colors before the vows were said. Because this is a big deal. Not only did she disrespect you in your home, because it is yours and her dad's, not hers. You lived there. I don't know if this was like the home that she grew up in or not, but in her adulthood, you lived there first. And then he told you to leave to give her the space to calm down. She needs to go grow up, get on with her life. Even if she doesn't like you, a real grown-up would have known that that was never a way to treat you. So, sorry that happened. I'm sorry that they have you questioning yourself. But you are right. Leaving was the right decision. Yeah. You're not being cold, he's being dumb. Story number 4 is coming to us from r/Am I the Jerk? AITJ for refusing to do lab work. So I'm seeing a new psychiatrist soon after my old one, who I've been with for the past 10 years, has retired. I met with my counselor today, and she told me that the new one might make me do lab work. I'm on some meds that are required to have my blood sugar checked every 4 to 6 months. Because of how terrified I am of needles, my old psychiatrist has been accommodating and let me do the finger stick test instead of the needle in the vein type of blood draw. Now my counselor says that the new one might make me do lab work, and I'm not happy with it. I told my counselor that if they make me do a blood draw, then I'm just going to walk out, because I'm not going to do it. I've had bad experiences where someone couldn't draw it once and stick me 4 times. It angers me so much that I might be put through the misery of a needle again. I just don't want to do it, and I refuse to do it. I'm pissed, and so I threw my office chair and it broke, and now my family is pissed at me. My friend Andrew says that I'm an asshole for having a fit over this. He told me, you're acting like a big baby over something that all adults do. Man up and do it. Am I really an asshole for refusing blood work? Yes, you're the jerk. You are the asshole. You're wrong. You're not wrong for refusing. Like, your healthcare is your own. If you are choosing to go against medical advice by not getting the blood draw, you have the right to do that. But when you refuse the medical advice that your practitioner believes is best, they also have the right to dismiss you as a patient. Like, you won't do what they're recommending. They believe they're making the best decisions for you. And so it's kind of an impasse. They can't help you if you won't let them help you. So if you do go to this appointment with the new psychiatrist, they want you to do a blood draw and you refuse, I fully expect that the psychiatrist will not renew your meds, and that if you do not change your mind, they have the right to dismiss you as a patient. I would not be surprised if that happened. You are not the jerk for refusing a medical procedure. That's within your right. You are an asshole because you threw a fit over it like a child. There's no ages in here, so I don't know how old you are, but you're definitely a grown-up in some way, at least in age. But you threw your office chair and broke it because your counselor was warning you that you would likely be asked to do blood work. Not only did you have a tantrum, but you took it out on the wrong person. The counselor was just the messenger. She was just trying to prepare you. It's not her fault. Or his fault, whatever. Let's see, your friend, Andrew. I'm with Andrew. You are acting like a baby. Either do it or don't, but don't act like a child and have a temper tantrum about it. Like, that's just it. The first comment on this one is a good one. It says, I find it hard to believe you threw a chair over this, but if it's true, grow up. Your last psychiatrist did you a disservice. Blood draw tests are much more accurate, and he may refuse to renew your meds without it. So, you're the jerk. Exactly. He did you a disservice by allowing you to give in to that fear. I recognize that fear of needles, all those different phobias, are real. But with needles, it's something you have to find a way to do sometimes. And your old psychiatrist, yes, did you a disservice by not making it a regular thing that you had to do. Because now you've grown entitled, you're used to that, and you think you can just refuse across the board. And I think you're about to find out that that's not going to work. Oh, I need to find another story. Okay, please hold while we scroll. All right, story number 5 is coming to us from r/AITAH. AITAH for tipping 83 cents. I went out to dinner with my wife last night. When the bill came, I gave the waitress my card. She came back shortly after looking upset. She slapped the card down on the table and said, "Declined." I thought her tone and brevity was rude. I took out a different card from my wallet and handed it to her. While I was putting the first card in my wallet, she didn't move. I looked at her and said, "You okay?" She said, "If I go back and try to run this, are you still going to be sitting here when I get back?" I asked her if she thought her tone was appropriate for speaking to customers. She said, "You're only a customer if you pay." I asked to speak to her manager. She left with a card. My wife said maybe the waitress had encountered scammers before and was anxious about it. I said being rude and being cautious are two different things. The waitress returned with my card and the slip to fill out. She said, "This one worked. I'm sorry." I thanked her and took the booklet. Our bill was $91.17. I wrote in 83 cents as a tip and $92 as a total. I handed it back to her and she started to get up to leave. She said, "You're really not going to tip me?" I said, "No, you were rude to me." She said, "I have to tip out the bartender and the busboy. I just paid money to serve you." I said, "Well, in the future, you shouldn't be so rude." My wife thinks I was an asshole to the waitress and should have given her $10 at least, because it was an honest misunderstanding. I would have given her $28.83 if she wasn't rude to me, but I don't want to pay to be insulted. Was I the asshole? For the record, I called my bank and the card was flagged for fraud because of a pending $1 charge that is often associated with fraud attempts. I resolved it. Okay. I don't think you're the asshole. This might be a controversial opinion. In America, tipping is still the standard. We understand that dishwashers, waiters, hostess, bartenders, busboys, everybody who works in that restaurant is underemployed. They receive a very low wage and they expect tips to survive. We get that that's how it works in America. But I agree with him. Like, you're not going to pay somebody to insult you. She was, immediately, as soon as there was an issue, she turned rude. And I don't care if she was polite and friendly and a fantastic waitress the rest of the time. The way that she treated you at the end when the bill came due ruined the experience for you. A big thing with serving is you have to be nice. You have to be polite and friendly and outgoing. That is being nice to people and giving them a good experience is how you earn your tips. You're not just, even though we know tipping is how waitstaff survive in America, you are not guaranteed a tip just because. You still have to work hard and you still have to earn it. And when you ruined his experience by basically insinuating that he was going to dine and dash, you ruined your chances at a tip too. Yeah. I mean, it sucks for her that she did not get the tip that she was expecting, especially still having to tip out the bartender and the busboy. Maybe that taught her a lesson, because one time I was told that you never learn a lesson until it hits you in your pocketbook. And this time it did, because $28.83 would have been a great tip. And she lost it due to her behavior. Yeah, I agree with you. She did not act appropriately. And this was the consequence for her actions. She did not get a tip. I think that is fair. I believe in tipping. If I go out, I always make sure that I can afford to tip my servers because it is a standard. But if someone treated me this way, I probably wouldn't have tipped them either. All right, one more for today. Try to find a shorter one. Okay. Story number 6 is coming to us from r/AITH. AITAH for living my best life while my girlfriend sulks at home. I'm 29, a teacher, and I live for traveling. I get 2 months off in summer and plenty of breaks during the year. My girlfriend, same age, works weekends and doesn't have the same time off. We've been together for 5 years. I do literally everything I can with her. Trips, weekends away, dinners, lazy days at home, you name it. But when she can't come, like when she has to work, I still go do my thing. Solo trips, van trips, Berlin for a month, you get the vibe. She just dumped me because she can't handle my lifestyle anymore. She says it hurts to see me living my best life while she's stuck working and feels left behind. Apparently last summer it was a huge deal too because I spent a month solo traveling, even though I spent the rest of the summer with her. I even gave this as a gift for us to enjoy together on an outing, but it's still unopened. Okay, I think it's a link. Oh, okay. Okay, it's a link to Amazon. It is, I will take a screenshot and share it on the video. But it is an outroad adult tricycle. So like one person rides it like a bike and it has 2 wheels in the back and the other person can ride. I've never seen this before, but it's actually really kind of cute. Okay. She's basically saying it's not fair that I get to be happy and explore while she watches from her 9 to 5, or more like 9 to weekends. Also, her friends apparently talk behind my back about how she lets me travel alone so much. As if I'm cheating. Spoiler, I'm not. Now she's gone, crying about not evolving together and how I'm not settling down, even though we literally live 10 minutes apart and have plans for the future. Am I some selfish wanderlust man-child who needs to grow up and sit on the couch every weekend, or is this just her insecurity talking? Let me have it. Be honest. I genuinely don't know if I effed this up or if I just dodged a bullet. I think you dodged the bullet. I think it's really interesting that she is crying about not evolving together when she seems to be jealous of your lifestyle, which means if she's jealous of it, she wants it. And she's the one who did not evolve to change her career, change her working schedule to where she could evolve and be able to do more with you if that's what she really wanted to do. She's so jealous sitting on the sidelines watching you travel and go explore and do all these amazing things. But she's not making any changes to make it to where she can also do those things. Instead, she wants you to make changes and she wants to diminish your happiness so you can be sad with her. I don't like that. That's selfish. That's small-minded. And I really hate that she turned it around on you. You dodged a bullet here. I hate that it was so much time that you guys spent together before, you kind of realized before this went down this way. But yeah, you are not the asshole. You're right. And I'm sorry that you kind of have to start over now, but hopefully you'll be able to find someone who values your wanderlust enough to try to live that same life with you if that's what they want. You know, if someone is content having separate lives where you travel and they stay home and work, that's fine if you're both happy with that. But if someone is jealous and wants what the other person have, then they need to work harder and they need to work together as a team to make it possible for your partner to be able to travel with you and do those things. You know, I know that you have this schedule where you're off so much in the summer because you're a teacher. Is it possible that maybe she could be a teacher? Or could she work, I don't know, could she work remotely where she could travel with you and still be working? I feel like there were options to make this work and she just didn't try. Like, you don't say anything about her ever trying to change her working schedule where she could do more with you. So it really sounds like she's jealous, but she's also not willing to make any changes herself to make the dream happen. So I don't feel bad for her. I feel bad for you that it turns out to be 5 years wasted, but at least you knew before you tied the knot. All right, that is 6 stories for this week's episode of Was I in the Wrong? And that is us done for the day. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time for another episode of the Misty Morrison Podcast. Bye.